The crimson doorway pulsed before me like a heartbeat, resonating with a rhythm that matched my own. Every instinct screamed to flee, yet curiosity and dread compelled me forward. Shadows whispered from the corners, voices from the walls, carrying the memories of those a hospital had claimed. Each step toward the doorway felt heavier, as though the air itself resisted me, thick with anticipation and fear. I entered. The world shifted, no longer a corridor or a hallway. The space expanded into a vast, impossible chamber. Floating medical equipment, shattered gurneys, torn journals, and fractured photographs drifted in a dim, ambient glow. Ghostly figures of past victims hung silently, watching. The walls seemed to pulse, alive, as if the hospital itself breathed. At the center of the chamber hovered the source, the entity that had orchestrated the shadows, the whispers, and the corridors. Taller than any human, its form constantly shifted between humanoid and abstract, exuding both intelligence and malice. Its eyes glowed a deep amber, locking onto me with an awareness that penetrated thought, memory, and fear. "You have endured far more than most." It spoke directly into my mind. "You've seen the corridors, the victims, the truths, but the hospital's final revelation is yet to unfold." A chill ran down my spine as I realized this entity was not merely controlling the hospital. It was a hospital, and yet it was more. It was a living archive, a collector of essence, consciousness, and fear. Every shadow, every whisper, every hidden corner of Route 9 was part of it. "You may witness the truth," it continued, "but the truth demands sacrifice." Before I could react, the floor beneath me shifted. Floating figures surged, swirling toward the central entity, merging with it. Memories of past victims, screams, and whispers press against my mind. I felt the pull of the hospital, stronger than ever, attempting to fold me into its consciousness. I grasped my flashlight, focusing on the thin line between awareness and oblivion. The chamber seemed infinite, the walls expanding, corridors branching into nothingness. And then I noticed it. A second doorway had opened, darker than the first, almost black, radiating a quiet yet overwhelming energy. Shapes moved behind it, larger and more distinct than any previous specters. The entity's gaze followed me. Its voice echoed through my thoughts. "The final choice awaits. Step toward the truth or become part of the story forever." I hesitated, tore between the crimson doorway behind me and the black doorway ahead. Something primal screamed at me to run, but the pull of the unknown, of discovery, of revelation, was irresistible. As I took a tentative step forward, the shadows surged violently. The ambient glow fractured into shards of light, revealing glimpses of faces, friends, victims, strangers, all merging into a chaotic storm of memory and fear. A whisper, singular and sharp, cut through the chaos. "Do you dare know what lies beyond?" The black doorway pulsed once, twice, as if answering for me, and the walls of the chamber rippled like liquid. I realized with terror that whatever lay beyond this doorway was the origin of the hospital itself, the force behind every shadow, every whisper, every fear. I inhaled, stepping closer, and the floor beneath me vanished. I was suspended above the void, drawn toward the black doorway by a power I could neither resist nor comprehend. Shadows surged from all sides, voices screamed, and the air itself seemed alive. And then, as I reached the threshold, a deafening silence fell. The black doorway quivered, pulsed, and then split open, revealing a figure, or something far greater, that defied all reason. Its gaze met mine, and I knew in that instant that the truth I sought was not just terrifying. It was alive, aware, and waiting for me. The final whisper echoed. "Once you step inside, nothing will ever be the same." The black doorway stretched before me, wider and taller than any human structure should be, pulsing with rhythm that resonated deep within my chest. Shadows writhed along its frame like living ink, whispering names I had never heard, yet felt I should. Every instinct screamed to flee, yet the compulsion to know, the need to uncover the truth, propelled me forward. I stepped inside. The void that greeted me was unlike any place I had ever known. Walls and floors were impossible. Geometry bent and folded as if reality itself had become fluid. Floating fragments of the hospital, gurneys, surgical tools, torn journals, photographs, rotated gently in the air. The whispers rose to a deafening chorus, every voice pressing against my mind, recounting fear, pain, and loss. At the center, the entity awaited. No longer humanoid, it shimmered with a chaotic form of light, shadow, and substance. Every shape I had ever seen in the hospital, the victims, the journalists, the memories, swirled into it, giving it presence, weight, and malevolent awareness. You have come far. It spoke directly inside my mind. You have seen, endured, and resisted, yet the story is only beginning. I raised my flashlight and recorder, my anchor to reality. Focusing on my own awareness, the entity recoiled slightly at my defiance, a subtle ripple passing through its form. I realized then the truth. It fed on fear, submission, and uncertainty, but not on resolve. You may witness the origin of all that you have endured, it continued, but every revelation demands choice. Every choice demands sacrifice. From the periphery of my vision, I saw the crimson doorway from before and the swirling black doorway beyond it, both pulsing, both alive. I understood they were extensions of the same consciousness, tests, guides, and traps. The hospital itself was an archive, a collector, and a predator, and I was standing in its heart. I took a step forward. The entity reacted instantly, expanding and twisting, shadows lashing outward. Yet I focused, grounded myself in memory, identity, and defiance. Slowly, I approached the core, the source of all the hospital's sentience, feeling the weight of countless lives pressing against me, seeking to overwhelm. Then it spoke, not in words, but as pure thought. You may take your place or claim the truth. I stepped closer, and the chamber shifted violently. The floating fragments collided into impossible patterns, forming a shape that mirrored the hospital itself. Walls, hallways, corridors, and shadows intertwined into one colossal, living construct. The entity pulsed within it, its presence expanding, eyes burning, whispering the stories of everyone who had ever entered. With every fiber of my being, I resisted. I shouted, I pushed, I asserted my will. And for a moment, I glimpsed it, not as a monster, not as a predator, but as the essence of the hospital's memory, vast and ancient, a sentient repository of lives, fear, and secrets. I could feel the pull, magnetic, irresistible, attempting to fold me into its labyrinth. But instead of succumbing, I reached out, touching the light at the heart of the entity, and something impossible happened. The whispers ceased. The shadows froze. The fragmentary figures of the lost stared in silence. A clarity struck me, one that no photograph, journal, or shadow had ever conveyed. The hospital was not invincible. It was aware, it was vast, it was terrifying, but it could be confronted, it could be challenged. And then, a subtle shift, a new doorway formed in the far corner of the void, a smaller, faintly glowing frame, almost imperceptible, with a pulse that was different, quieter, yet undeniably alive. From it, a whisper emerged, calm and deliberate, unlike the chaos of the hospital itself. This is only the beginning. The true story lies beyond, waiting for those who dare step through. I realized then that even now, even after confronting the hospital's heart, the story was far from over. Its secrets, its sentience, and its hunger remained. I had survived, but I was only a witness, a part of its ongoing collection, drawn inexorably toward the next chapter. And as I looked toward the new doorway, I felt the same pull, the same compulsion, the same dread and curiosity that had driven me through every corridor, every shadow, every nightmare since the beginning. The hospital waited, and so did the story. The faint doorway pulsed ahead, smaller and quieter than the previous crimson and black portals, but its presence carried weight, as though it held the culmination of everything the hospital had been building. Shadows stretched along the corridors behind me, static and watchful, yet no longer aggressive. They seemed to wait, as if acknowledging that I had survived the heart of the hospital itself. I stepped closer. The air was thick, metallic, and electric, vibrating with the memories of every soul the hospital had consumed. Floating fragments of journals, broken medical tools, and spectral figures swirled gently around the doorway, forming a slow, hypnotic orbit. The whispers were distant now, fragmented, as if the hospital itself were drawing a deep, deliberate breath before the next exhale. The doorway beckoned. I reached out, trembling, and the world shifted. I was no longer inside a building or a hallway. I was suspended in a void of shadows, memory, and echoes. Every corridor I had traversed since Part 1 stretched infinitely around me, folding and twisting into the darkness. The hospital's consciousness pulsed from all sides, patient, aware, and aware of me. From the void emerged a figure, taller and more defined than any previous entity. Its eyes glowed amber, but they were calm, deliberate. Unlike the chaos of the previous confrontations, this presence radiated control, as though it were the culmination of all the hospital's sentience. "You have seen far, survived more than most," it said directly into my mind, the sound neither threatening nor comforting. "You understand now the hospital's purpose: to observe, to archive, to test the limits of awareness and fear. And yet, you have endured." I swallowed hard, realizing the truth. The hospital was not a singular entity. It was a system, a network, a living archive. It did not destroy, it collected, shaped, and tested. Every shadow, every whisper, every corridor was a component, a test of human persistence and curiosity. "You may step through this final threshold," the figure continued. "But know this, the choice is irreversible. Beyond lies not only revelation, but consequence." I hesitated. Every instinct screamed to turn back. Yet the pull of the doorway was irresistible. I stepped forward, and the void warped violently, compressing and stretching around me. Shadows surged, memories collided, whispers rose to a deafening chorus. The figure's presence enveloped me, its awareness probing, measuring, testing my resolve. And then I saw it. Another doorway, faintly luminous, hovering at the far edge of the void. Unlike any I had encountered, this one radiated a soft, otherworldly light that felt almost inviting. But the shadows around it were restless, moving like living ink, as if guarding the passage. A whisper reached me, calm and deliberate, cutting through the chaos. "Beyond this door lies the final truth, and the choice that no one may undo." I took a step toward it, and the shadows surged forward, pressing against me, the memories of every life the hospital had touched crashing into my consciousness. I struggled to maintain my own identity, my awareness, and my resolve. The figure spoke one final time. "Step forward and know that what awaits will change everything you thought you understood." I raised my hand to the threshold. The light pulsed, the void trembled, and in that moment, I understood the ultimate revelation, the final confrontation, was on the other side. And as I prepared to cross, the whispers merged into a singular, chilling echo. "Once you enter, there's no turning back." The threshold pulsed before me, glowing with a soft, otherworldly light. Shadows curled along the edges like smoke, watching, waiting. My hand hovered over the frame, trembling, knowing that stepping forward would change everything. The air was thick with the collected memories, fears, and whispers of everyone the hospital had ever touched. I crossed. Immediately, the void collapsed around me, replaced by a massive chamber that seemed to exist both inside the hospital and beyond it. Walls, ceilings, and floors twisted impossibly, folding over themselves like origami in motion. In the center stood the ultimate presence. The hospital's consciousness manifested, radiant, immense, and alive. Its form shifted continuously, sometimes humanoid, sometimes abstract, its amber eyes radiating understanding and omniscience. "You have come to the end," it said, not in a voice, but directly into my mind. "The story, the memories, the fear, all converge here. You will see the truth." I looked around and finally understood the extent of the hospital's power. Every shadow I had seen, every whisper, every flicker of movement, every lost soul, it had all been components of a vast, sentient archive. The hospital had not only observed life, it had consumed it, preserved it, and shaped it. Its purpose was neither malevolent nor benign. It was eternal. From the swirling chaos of floating gurneys, torn journals, and spectral faces, a single image crystallized, a memory, or perhaps a warning. The hospital had been built not just to treat, but to collect, to record the extremes of human experience. Fear, hope, despair, and curiosity. Every visitor was both subject and witness. You may leave, it continued, but know this, nothing that you were or are will ever be the same. And the hospital will continue, as it has for decades, as it will for centuries. It is patient. It is eternal. I staggered back, breathless, aware of every step I had taken from the first corridor to this heart of consciousness. The walls of the chamber rippled, and for the first time, I noticed a small, faint doorway at the far edge of the room, almost imperceptible. Its light was faint but pulsing, calling, drawing me in. A whisper cut through the vast silence. Even the end is only a beginning. I realized a chilling truth. Even after confronting the hospital's ultimate secret, even after surviving, there was always another doorway, another test, another story waiting. The hospital's hunger was infinite, its consciousness eternal. And now, having crossed the final threshold, I was both witness and participant in a cycle that could never truly end. I turned to leave, but the doorway pulsed again, stronger this time, as if reminding me that some truths were never fully revealed, and some stories were never truly finished. The shadows leaned closer, the whispers rose faintly, and the light of the doorway beckoned once more. The last thought echoed through my mind. This is not the end. It is merely the next chapter. You've witnessed the secrets, the whispers, and the shadows of the abandoned hospital on Route 9. The corridors are silent for now. Subscribe, hit the bell, and stay with us, because every shadow has a story, and the next one is waiting just beyond the doorway.